In this video, I'm going to show you how to easily play a harmonic minor scale on the violin. So for today's video, the first scale that I'm going to show you is probably the easiest scale, the easiest harmonic minor scale to play on the violin, which is the G harmonic minor scale. However, I'm also going to show you a finger pattern where if you memorize this finger pattern, you'll actually be able to play a harmonic scale starting on any pitch on the violin. Now, if you can get good at playing your scales on the violin, well, that's awesome because scales are a great way to warm up every time that you practice, and it'll end up helping you play a lot more in tune. So let's get to it. Now, first of all, there are three types of minor scales, right? There's the natural minor, the melodic minor, and the harmonic minor. Now, I've already done videos on the melodic minor and the natural minor. I'll put some links down below in the description so you can check those out if you want. But the harmonic minor scale sounds like this if I start on the G string. That was using an open D string. Here it is with the fourth finger. Right? So that's a pretty cool sounding scale. It's probably definitely one of my favorite minor scales. It sounds a little bit, I don't know, extra spooky. So the pattern that you want to memorize is actually, you just want to memorize where the half steps are in the scale. So remember, in most scales, you will only have two types of distances, right? You have the half step or you have a whole step, right? There are some few exceptions. This scale is actually one of those exceptions. So let me show you really quickly what I mean by half steps and whole steps, right? You can not only hear it, but you can see it. As a general rule, with half steps, your fingers will be touching, and your whole steps, your fingers will not. So, okay, so there's a half step right there, right? See, my 1 and my 2 are touching. Here's a whole step, right? And here's a whole step. So you can not only hear it, but you can see it. Okay, so now with the harmonic minor scale, you just want to remember where the half steps are. So the half steps are going to be between scale degree 2 and 3, 5 and 6, and 7 and 8. So with like the natural minor scale, for example, you only have half steps between 2 and 3 and 5 and 6. But with the harmonic minor scale, you have that additional half step at the very top. So what do I mean by scale degrees? Well, of course, scale degrees are just numbers that you associate with, you know, the letter name of the scale. So for example, an A minor scale, A is scale degree 1, B is scale degree 2, C is scale degree 3, and so on and so forth. So if you play the G minor scale, remember in the musical alphabet after G you go back to A, right? So G is scale degree 1, A is scale degree 2, B is scale degree 3, and so on and so forth. So it's very, very simple, okay? So I'm going to play a G minor, G harmonic minor scale, and I'm going to show you those half steps between 2, 3, 5 and 6, and 7 and 8. So scale degree 1, scale degree 2, here's the scale degree between 2 and 3, that half step, scale degree to 4 is a whole step, to 5 is a whole step, to 6 is a half step, and now I need a half step between 7 and 8. So I'm going to have to raise that 7 to get to be a half step between my last note, which is the G. There's that last half step. So I'll do it again. So scale degree 1, scale degree 2, scale degree 3, half step, scale degree 4, whole step, scale degree 5, whole step, or open. Scale degree 6, half step. Now I do a step and a half, which is 3 half steps. A step and a half, that's that weird distance I was telling you about. So I can get that half step between 7 and 8. So there's that step and a half distance that you rarely see in a scale, but in the harmonic minor, you have that step and a half. It's basically 3 half steps. So there's that raise 7, So once you get good at playing the harmonic scale on the G string, then I would suggest trying it using the same pattern on your other open strings. So here it is on the D string. Here it is starting the A string. Right? So once you get good at playing that harmonic minor pattern, starting on all the open strings, then you could try maybe doing 2 octave instead of 1 octave, right? So it's 16 notes instead of 8, starting on the G string. Or then you can start to pick other pitches. So you can start learning scale starting on the first finger. You just have to count your scale degrees. But once you get the pattern, it doesn't take you very long, then you'll be able to easily play the pattern. So for example, here's the harmonic minor scale starting on the first finger, which is A, right? First finger on the G's, which is an A. So... right, so scale degree 1, scale degree 2, scale degree 3, here's that half step. Scale degree 4, whole step. Now 5, 6, it's a half step. Now I have to stretch that 3 to get that step and a half, so I have the half step between 7 and 8. There's that half step. Okay, now I can apply that same pattern to, let's say, first finger on the D string, which will be my E minor scale. Same thing with the A. I'll put my first finger on the A. That's a B natural, so this will be my B harmonic minor scale starting on the first finger on the A string. Right? Okay, so it's pretty simple. So you can try that pattern starting on the second finger, starting on the third finger, right? So you can learn all kinds, you can teach yourself all kinds of harmonic minor scales if you know that the half steps are between 2 and 3, 5 and 6, and 7, 8, and you've got that step and a half distance, which is 3 half steps, between 6 and 7. So here's a quick tip for you. Remember when you're playing your scales to try to keep your fingers down, right? Don't pick them up when you play. Right, like that. That would be that's very bad, right? It's inefficient because you're having to make 2 motions instead of 1 because now you got to put the fingers back down. And then when you go back down the scale, if you keep your fingers down, then you don't have to find them again. So remember, playing the violin is about making it as efficient and easy as possible because the violin is hard enough. So don't pick your fingers up, especially on scales. Now pick it up. Okay, so I hope I was of some help today. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that alert bell, and ask me any questions. If you got any questions, put them below in the description. And of course, you can always message me on Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. I usually get back to pretty much everybody. So I hope that helps. And hey, have a nice rest of the week. See you later.